Okay. I thought this was going to fit on the screen the way it is, but it is clearly not going to, so let me move a couple of things around. We want this to work so that you can see everything. I'm having one of those moments, just bear with me. Okay. This is one of those times when I overestimate the amount of space that is available on my desk. So, I just finished these, and I think I have 4 more to finish. Let me just count real quick. One, two. Nope, I have 5 more to finish. So I have an equal amount as is sitting on my desk to finish up. Okay, let's see if we are on camera. Still not quite there, are we? So these are slightly smaller than the journals I showed before. And we're still there. I think we've got those all in. I want to try and get this as my thumbnail, so I'm going to let that sit there for a minute while I babble at you. Good morning. It is technically not the 21st yet. My clock says 11:38, but I'm awake and I'm at a standstill on the project I'm working on because I'm waiting for something to dry. So I have had these finished for a few weeks now, and I just haven't had the courage to show them. So I thought I would do that this morning and see what everyone thinks. So these are repurposed greeting cards like the other ones I showed you. It is a greeting card, but it's been covered so that you can't, I believe it was blank, but you can't see whatever was on the back before. Now I've given it a different cover. So these are, let's get a quick measurement on that. These are 4 inches wide and just a tiny smidge. Whatever that first line is after, maybe that's an 1/8. Whatever that first line is after the 5 on the measuring tape or the ruler, that's how long these are. So so they're 4 inches by approximately 5 inches. It's a nice, I am actually working on this one. I'm loath to close it because I always lose where I'm at. So it's a little smaller than this one, and just a smidge wider, maybe 1/4 of an inch wider than this one, but considerably thinner. This is just it's along the lines of the Christmas card idea that you saw from Natasha, and I have plague fingers today. I just a little while ago put on a batch of black paper, so plague fingers, that's just what happens. So I tried a couple with titles and some without. I'm probably going to add a title to this one because there's a little smudge right there, and I think maybe I want to cover that up. So I'll probably use a little bit of music like I did here and a word to go with it. So I think I'll probably add a little title to this one. But I thought I would show these, so we'll start. Why don't we start with this one? They all have a mandala on them. This one has sunflowers on the background. The background paper is a plain yellow here with the sunflower for the pocket, and I've included in each pocket 1 coffee dye tag and 1 dip dye tag, and the front pocket has actually the same 2 tags in it. So these are they're largely made out of scraps because they're so small, and I had just the perfect size scraps. So this one is a blue. This is the design on it. So steno paper that is bereft of its lines. A little purple dip dyed line paper. Last year's day planner page. I've got a little steno paper going on here. This is some of that tea dyed paper with where I put the tea bags on it, or I dripped it. This one is probably a drip page where it was under something catching the drip. So nice paper there. This is I believe that might be green paper. I have trouble in this light. I'm sorry. I'm gonna make it do a flashy thingy. That may be teal, but I think it's a light green. And then some craft paper here, and that folds out. Some grid paper, a little bit of a coloring page, some darker marked up lined notebook paper that's coffee dyed, some drawing paper that's, oh no, this is scrapbook paper. There's the scrapbook on that side. And so I was testing how scrapbooking paper would come out coffee dyed. It does mute the colors, which in some cases is not a bad thing at all, because the backs are so stark white. And this is, you know, a kind of a day planner thing. It's, but I thought it was fun to add in. It's got, it's a little bit thinner of a page, so you get good noise off it. A little sack there. This is a teal dip dyed index card. Some 10 squares per inch grid paper, and that's the center of the signature. There's the index card, the other side of the sack. And so we're just heading into the other side of the papers. And I had a lot of fun making these, and I have 5 more to finish. They don't actually take that long. The most tedious part is actually the pocket. And then with the edging, you have to be careful, obviously, because it's easy to smudge the front of the card. But, you know, stuff happens. All handmade things are slightly flawed. At least, you know, a little bit in some way. I think the person who made them always knows, even if you can't tell, that they are slightly flawed. You know what? I did not count the pages in this, so just I'll bore you for a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So there are 15 pages, and that's 30, and then you keep it. So it's 60 sides to write on. No, because this is 15, so if you count both sides, that's going to be 30, and then, you know, this side is 15, and the second side makes it 30, and that's 60 sheets to write on. This would fit nicely in the pocket of a purse. Slide it into the little skinny pocket on your backpack. It's a little bit thicker, you know, because it's been lined with, but probably if you do it in your purse, because I think it would be fun to, you know, grocery list, notes while you're out, that sort of thing. You could put it by your bedside table for a dream journal, or, you know, jotting down your thoughts. You know, sometimes you wake up in the morning and you think you have a great idea. I sometimes like to write those down, because later I'm like, what was I thinking? Because, you know, get up in the morning, you think, hey, and you think it's a really great idea, and sometimes it is, but sometimes it isn't. So that's the first one. So we'll call this one light blue, and this one is a darker blue. It's got some maroon in the mandala. Now you got a flowered page on the front and back. I really like this paper. And then you've got that going on for your border. There's a little border in there, and then some flowered paper in the background. So you get a coffee dyed and a red tag in the back, and an orange tag and a coffee dyed tag in the front. And then they're all kind of along the same lines, but we'll flip through them real quick. Just this one has a time card, and I left that like that on purpose. It does stick out a little bit farther, but I kind of like it when the book is closed. You see that little grungy edge right there. A little purple paper. This is some of that kindergarten paper that lost its lines, and that is tea dyed. Tea dyed again. Coffee dyed. This is teal dip dyed right here. Lined paper. While you were out memo pad that's coffee dyed. This is craft paper, lightweight craft paper. Here's a damask printed paper bag. Some bead dyed paper, and that does have a little bit of fraying on the top edge there, but I thought it gave it a little character. Here is a grungy coffee dyed index card. Some undyed grid paper for a change. We almost never have that. And then the center is this fun page right here. So, and then we're just heading back through the pages there. There's the other side of the sack. That's the other side of the craft paper. There's the bottom half of the memo pad, the lined paper, the tea stain paper. There is the steno pad. There's the kindergarten paper. Some purple dip dyed paper. There's the other side of the index card. Some more lined paper. Coloring book page. And some more. There we go. And that's the whole thing right there. And that's dark blue. Here we go with the yellow one, which has a white rose pattern on the back. The inside of that is the white rose. And then on the inside pocket, there is a coffee dyed doily and some dark brown paper. This one comes with a coffee dyed tag and an orange tag. And then let's get that all the way down in there. And then this side, same thing. I love that rose pattern paper. And you get a coffee dyed and a black tag in this side because I like it with the brown and the roses. And it does go fine with the front there. So we start this one out with the lightweight craft paper. Snuck a little doily in there just for a little accent. That is just some drawing paper that is tea dyed. I had a lot of teal scraps when I did this. So that's a teal paper. There is your little sack. Grid paper. That is tea dyed. There's another sheet of the crafty paper. Steno paper. An index card. There's the undyed. I love the kindergarten paper. Because it's not a stark white. It's actually slightly off-white. You know, I like to use it sometimes plain. Here's some more scraps of that. I showed in another video the layout of the music blueprint for repairs. This is some of that paper. You can see the line here, but that's really the only thing on the paper. Got some nice markings on it, though. Purple lined paper. Tea stain 10 squares per inch grid. There's some more of that planner. Notebook paper, coffee dyed, grid paper. Yeah, that is probably coffee dyed. Center of the signature. And you can tie that into a knot and clip off the edges if you don't like the bow in the middle. You could add some dangles. Notebook paper. The other side of the planner page. Grid paper. Purple paper. I got a little fold out right there. And you can see the markings. There's your kindergarten paper. Polka dots on an index card. There's the other side. I put this part on some of them on that side and some of them on this side just because it's boring if it's always the same. There's that craft paper and made into a nice fold out there. We've got the grid paper, the other side of the sack. We've got the teal paper. No, that's blue actually. That is blue. Coffee paper. There's the other doily and the other craft paper. So we'll call this one yellow because it's yellow on the front. How's that? Here is an orange one. And the message on this one is every day. I put a little music paper on there. I had a little fun with it. There is a little smudge down here, but I think it kind of adds character. On this one, you've got some orange paper on the back. Just a general design. And then, of course, that carries over to the inside where we've got a coffee dyed. And the black is, the background is yellow flowers. I think they're daisies. They're a little stylized, but so you got purple and coffee dyed for your tags in there. Over here you've got an orange one because it's orange naturally, and then another coffee dyed one. Okay, so we're going craft paper, drawing paper. Oh, I put this is vintage 1970s road map. Let me see if I can tell what state that is. Let's see. Not on this side, maybe on the other side. This all has little tiny towns. There's a town called Virginia here. I don't really recognize any of the towns. Steno paper. There's some more of that blueprint paper, purple paper, while you were out memo pad. That is just coffee dyed paper, I think. A little sack. Here is some more. I put some washi on this because there was a little rip in this paper, but it was too fun not to use because it's so, this one got really grungy in the coffee. And then you've got that, it's on the back, but I think this adds a little fun flair to it. Coffee dyed. This is beet dyed paper here. Got some good markings. Blue. Coloring page, guest check, middle of the signature. So we're going guest check, coloring paper, blue, beet, coffee. Oh, you know what? That might be tea though. I think that might be tea. This is definitely coffee. The other side of the sack. There is some coffee paper, some memo pad, purple, grungy blueprint paper. The other side of the steno pad. So let's see if I can tell on this side. Nope, but it's near the ocean, whatever it is, or a lake. Core town, Enniscorthy. I think this may not be. Nope, I have no idea where this is. Dublin. Well, this is not a map of the United States. I believe this might be a map of Ireland. But I could be wrong. Because I thought most of my maps were of the United States. I think that's coffee dyed. I'm pretty sure that's coffee dyed. And the other side of the craft paper. And this is a lightweight craft paper. So there is orange every day. And this one says question, and I put a little butterfly on there just for fun. This one is bound on the outside. I was trying all kinds of things different ways. Here's the back with, it's kind of the same along the lines of this. It's from the same paper pad, but this one is in blue in design. So on the inside you get this kind of foliage sort of design. A red and a coffee dyed tag, and then we'll flip to the back and you get a teal and a coffee dyed tag. So let's get that down in there. So teal, there's the doily right there. There is that crafty paper. This is some scrapbooking paper which has not been coffee dyed. Red index card. Coffee dyed paper, damask paper sack, kindergarten paper, while you were out memo pad, blueprint paper, purple. This is tea dyed, scrapbooking paper that has not been coffee dyed. We've got some nice tea dyed steno paper. And then I left this jagged on purpose. That wasn't like a boo-boo. I just like the torn edge on it. Here we've got, oh, that's a little raggedy. My blade must have been getting slightly dull. We'll just give that a quick little, whoops. It's not wanting to cooperate with me. Come on, Amy, you can use scissors. Sometimes, you know, that blade gets a little dull and it makes raggedy edges. And if it's on all of them, I don't mind, because then you have kind of a uniform raggedy look to it. But it appears to be really only this paper in this book. So, we'll just give those a little quick trim off. That way, it doesn't look weirder than the rest of the book. So, there we go. And that's the center of the signature. And again, this one is tied. And you could tie that in a little knot or untie the bow and throw some little dangles on there. It is kind of short though, so you'd have to have patience to get some dangles on there. That is coffee dyed. Oh, yeah, coffee dyed. And then we've got a sheet of that drawing paper again, and that is tea dyed. Tea dyed steno paper, and this has been ripped out. Yeah, this one has been ripped out. I like it both ways, with just removing the spiral and sometimes just ripping it right out. There's the other side of that scrap book paper. This is a thinner paper. I'm not sure what kind of paper that is, but it sounds fun. Purple. There is the blueprint paper. While you were out, memo pad. Kindergarten paper. There is the other side of the stack, and I did the hole on the other side on this one. Not the hole, but the circly thing to make it easier to put things in the sack. That's the tea dyed paper, red index card. There's the other side of that scrapbooking paper, and then the crafty paper, and the doily, and the teal paper. Yay! And that one is question with the butterfly in the front. Now, I'm going to offer these on YouTube before I put them in my Etsy shop. They're going to be $14.99, and that includes, does that include the shipping? No, it was $16.25 with the shipping, because I weighed them in an envelope to see how much it would weigh and the average cost. So that's going to be $16.25, and that includes the shipping. And I always do include a few free goodies in there. I'll hold off on putting a title on this one in case someone's interested. If you would like a title on it to cover this little ink smudge right here, I am happy to put one on there. It will be like this one, like the question, only just a little more off to the side. And I will try not to cover any of the mandala, but I'll leave it as is for now. And if somebody purchases, I will let them decide. If it moves over to my Etsy shop, I will most likely put a title on it, just because. But there are 5 of them. So light blue, dark blue, yellow, everyday, and is that everyday or everything? Oh my, yeah, everyday, and question. And so those have 60 front and back sides. It's a total of 15 pages. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Those are $16.25, includes the shipping. And this one also does have a little ink smudge down here too. So sometimes there's no way to avoid that. But they're fun. Throw it in your purse, put it in your backpack, throw it on your bedside table. Keep it next to the TV. I do keep something like this over by my bed, just because, you know, sometimes you lay down at night and you have thoughts that are like, oh, that's important. I don't know if I'll remember that tomorrow, but you don't really want to get out of bed, because if you get out of bed, then you're going to be awake and you're not going to be able to go to sleep. So I do keep, I have one of these of my own, and it is a purple one that I keep over by the bed, and then, you know, when it's full, I'll just use something else. I love repurposing things. I love making, this is kind of, it's not new. I've probably been doing this for a couple of years now, although I don't ever usually do it on large scale. So 10 is kind of a lot to do at one time, in terms of, I don't know what I thought when I made them, like what I was going to use 10 of them at. But now that I'm selling on Etsy and YouTube more regularly, and I'm getting more comfortable with showing my work, I thought I would go ahead and show them and see if anybody has an interest in them. They are fun. Some of these do wrap around, and some of them do. I was really experimenting just with techniques, and I like them all. I think I like the ones that go on the inside the best. I wish I had left this a little longer, because I think it would be cute with a little dangle on it. But I'm going to leave that on the bow and let the person who gets it decide. But they are just a fun size to, you know, just to travel around with, or to leave somewhere in your house where you regularly find yourself having thoughts that you think, I probably should write that down. I'm not going to remember it later. So let me know if you're interested. My email will be in the description box. If you purchase it through YouTube, it will be PayPal invoice. If it makes it over to Etsy, obviously, then it will be on Etsy. So thank you for watching. If you have made it all the way to the end, I hope that you are having an amazing day, whatever time of the day or night it is. And until I see you again in another video here, or in a live stream somewhere, in the box or on the camera with Natasha, since that seems to be a thing now, I wish you happy crafting, and bye!